Hello and welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List. This is the December 2020 edition. I am your host, Nick Dahlhoff, and at the time of this recording, the Vikings did awesome last weekend, so I'm wearing this. Hopefully within the next 3 weekends they continue to do awesome, so that way this remains relevant. Otherwise, knowing my luck, they're going to go like on a 3-game losing streak, and this is going to look really ridiculous for the next 3 weeks. Joining me, as always, to my left, some would say the far left, is Mr. Ryan Meyerberg. Ryan, how you doing?
Good. Happy to be here. Yeah, that was a good win for the Vikes yesterday. I was pretty happy about that. And unlike topical hats, I am wearing a topical T-shirt. It's my Amon Amarth T-shirt again. If you still haven't checked them out, go check them out. They're pretty awesome. And yeah, this is the December 2020 show. We are at the end of 2020, and hopefully when that leaf turns over, things are much better.
Next time you see us, everything will be right in the world.
Everything will be great.
Everything will be gumdrops and rainbows.
That's right.
That's how it works, right?
Because it's 2021.
It just resets. But before we get into the main movie news, we got some big stuff here for ourselves. We got an exclusive. Ryan, you've been working on a little short film of your own.
Yes, I have.
We have a trailer, I believe, that you'd like us to check out.
Yeah, let me introduce the short film that I've, myself and you and some other people have been working on. All right, so this is the first look at Jado, a Sith story.
Know why I'm here.
So what happened after that?
Well, pretty simple. I got my pants out of the fridge, and I never went back to Texas ever again. Oh, we're back? Oh, we're back. Okay. So, yeah, great trailer, Ryan. It was real fun to do. That's going to be coming here on Omni Entertainment next week here. December 9th on Wednesday is when it's premiering. The full short film will be on this channel. Check it out next week.
Yeah.
And with that, let's get into some of the movie news. One of the big news stories of recent was some more shutdowns, some closures. We're kind of taking some steps back. Depending on where you're watching this, some theaters might not be open, some may be. So this time for the preview, we are going to show a mixture of movies. We are going to be talking about some that are coming out in theaters. We are also going to be talking about some streaming options as well. Some of the major new original films, obviously with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, there's 20,000 films that come out new every month. So we're just going to hit some of the highlights. December 4th, we have a couple options here. Again, if you have an option to go to the theater and you feel safe going to, these are some of the ones you could check out. One of the ones coming out is All My Life. This is a romantic drama that shows a young couple that have to face some very challenging obstacles before their young marriage even begins. And I'm going to leave it at that. I feel like I always spoil too much of these movies when I do these previews, so I'm going to keep these real brief.
Yep.
But as the two lead stars are Jessica Roth, who you may recognize from Happy Death Day, and Harry Shum Jr. One of his bigger roles recently was he was in Crazy Rich Asians, which is pretty funny as well.
Yep.
But speaking of funny, another movie coming out that same weekend is Half Brothers. This is a road trip comedy where two half brothers who have just discovered that they are half brothers, they didn't know each other before, have to go on a scavenger hunt set up by their dying father that will help answer some different questions they each have about their father's past. This is mainly Hispanic cast, I believe.
Okay.
So a little bit of diversity. Couple crazy shenanigans happen along the road.
It sounds like some shenanigans could happen.
Also coming out that same weekend, premiering on Netflix, is the movie Mank. It's an old Hollywood movie, talking about old Hollywood. I know you kind of enjoy that stuff, so this might be something for you, Ryan.
Interesting.
Shot in black and white, really giving that vintage feel. but it is about the Hollywood screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz, who was the screenwriter for Citizen Kane. So you get to see a little bit of Orson Welles in there as well.
Yeah.
But it was, in this case, Gary Oldman is the star who is playing Mankiewicz, and it was directed by David Fincher.
Interesting. And this will be interesting, especially for maybe some of our younger fans that recognize Gary Oldman from like the Batman series, and then when he changed for Churchill, he was a completely different character. So I'm excited. This sounds really interesting, and it'll be cool to see him as Mink or Minkowitz.
Then coming out December 11th is another Netflix original called The Prom. This is a musical comedy that originated on Broadway and is now moving over to the screen. It is about a professional theater troupe who go to a small Indiana town to help one student make the prom of her dreams. Pretty star-studded cast. Some of the stars include Meryl Streep, James Corden, Nicole Kidman, Keegan-Michael Key, and Kerry Washington, just to name a few there.
Wow.
So yeah, if you're into musicals, if you're into kind of a song and dance comedy, you got a couple comedic actors in there. Keegan-Michael Key, I don't think he's ever not made me laugh, to be honest.
Not been funny.
So that might be something to check out
Yeah,
on
that
Netflix December 11th.
That sounds interesting. I haven't seen a trailer for that yet. I'll have to check that out.
Sometimes streaming services was kind of annoying, is they like to wait with their trailers till
Yeah.
like a week before they announce the movie.
Yep, I've noticed that. Sometimes like you'll hear like a film or a show is in production, or it's wrap production, or it's going to air 2 weeks from now or a week from now, and you haven't seen anything about it yet.
Yeah.
So.
And then Netflix is coming in again at December 18th with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. This is starring Viola Davis as real life, considered to be mother of the blues, the music genre. She plays Ma Rainey, and it kind of tells her story as how she was a trailblazer for the genre of music in 1920 Chicago. This movie is also kind of important because this is Chadwick Boseman's last movie that he filmed before his unfortunate passing. So this is essentially his last movie. He plays a young trumpet player named Levy, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that one out.
And then coming in with the triple threat, Netflix once again, December 23rd. We're not saying that there aren't other movies that are coming out on streaming services. Again, sometimes they just don't release the trailers in time we release this. So it's not like we're sponsored by Netflix.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out. We would accept that, though, if Netflix wants
that's
to call
on the
us.
table if
Yeah.
it's,
We're not saying no, but anyway, so one of the other movies coming out on Netflix is Midnight Sky. This is on December 23rd. This is a sci-fi movie starring George Clooney, Felicity Jones, and David Oyelowo. Basically, George Clooney's character deals with isolation as he is set on a research base in Antarctica. And he is trying to contact another separate research team that's on a deep space mission. Mm-hmm. This is where Felicity Jones and her team comes in. So you have essentially these two types of sci-fi genres. You have the sci-fi genre of like isolation in Antarctica, and you also have the deep space sci-fi kind
alien,
of alien basically
yeah.
kind of like horror feeling. Not only does Clooney star in this movie, but he also directed it. So he's adding to that resume of director. And then finally, December 25th, this is the Christmas Day, which happens to land on a Friday. So
Christmas is on Friday this year?
I don't know, right? It's pretty nice when it lands like that. It's pretty nice when things line up like that.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
But one of the movies coming out in theaters December 25th is Monster Hunter. This is a Mila Jovovich-led movie who most people recognize from the Resident Evil franchise. She stars in a CGI monster fest of a movie, and that's really all you need to know about the plot. She fights monsters.
And if you've seen Resident Evil, it's going to be, I assume, along those same veins of action, motorcycles, guns, blazing.
At one point in the trailer, she like shoots a rocket launcher at a dragon-looking thing.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's gonna be fun.
We haven't had a lot of options for movies recently. I am all for it.
I can't wait.
I'm usually not big on the CGI, no plot movies, but you know what? I just need a break right now. I just need that.
We're almost around the corner We're almost there.
2020 is almost over, people. Also coming out that same day is News of the World. This is a Tom Hanks movie set in a Western, directed by Paul Greengrass. Tom Hanks' character is a man who travels from town to town telling people nonfiction stories, basically kind of these major news stories that are happening around the world. At one point in his travels, he encounters a girl that must be brought back to her family. And so he agrees to make this trip. He's kind of on his way anyway. And the trip turns out to be more difficult than previously thought, however.
Yeah, sounds interesting. When I first saw the trailer, the News of the World, Iron Maiden has an album called News of the World, and that's instantly what made me think of.
Yep.
And I just envisioned Eddie would appear in this desert landscape where they're at with guns and the Zeppelins behind him, but
Maybe for the shootout sequence.
Yeah, maybe for I'm holding my breath for it.
You know, if that ends up happening, I'll let you host the show.
Okay, you guys heard it.
I want it on record. He controls everything. Then, if that ends up.
If that happens.
Also coming out that same day, some of these now are streaming service releases, is Pixar's new movie Soul. This is coming straight to Disney+. This was one of those that was going to be a theater release, but is now going straight to Disney+. This is a movie starring Jamie Foxx, who voices a wannabe jazz musician who dies. Pixar has never shied away from characters dying within their movies. This time they're going straight to he just dies. And now we see him in the afterlife.
Yep.
We're not skirting around it anymore. Grow up, kids, is what Pixar is telling you now. But yeah, now he has to find a way back to the living because he feels he's not done with life yet. Yeah. Also coming out that same day, this is an Amazon Prime release, is Scilabis Love. This is a fairly simple love story between lead characters played by Tessa Thompson and former defensive back Nnamdi Asomugha, who I believe is married to Kerry Washington.
Okay.
So now he's taking his step into acting as well. This movie takes place in 1950s New York City. So, like I said, pretty simple love story. Might be kind of a nice little pick-me-up.
Yeah. Tessa Thompson, she was also, if you're a fan of Westworld, if you watch the new season or new series of episodes of Westworld, she's in it. I think she's been in a majority of them, but not the original, but the new show on HBO. So she's a fairly good actress.
And finally, and this is probably the big one everyone's been waiting for, coming out also on December 25th, Wonder Woman 1984. Now, this is an interesting one as well, because not only is it going to HBO Max for streaming on that day, they are going to attempt a theater release as well. Mm-hmm. We've talked about on this show some of the strategies Disney Plus and Warner Brothers have tried. Disney Plus tried the straight-to-streaming service strategy. Didn't work as well as they hoped. Yep. Warner Brothers tried, we're just going to go straight to the theater strategy still. Didn't exactly work. This, to me, is Warner Brothers trying to say, look, we're in a no-win situation here. We want people to see this in the theaters if they are able to, if they feel safe to. Yep. We want to give them that option. But this is a highly anticipated movie, probably one of the most highly anticipated in a while. They want to make sure everyone is able to watch this, so they're giving the streaming option as well on the exact same day.
Yep.
The worst part is, this seems like a compromise between the two strategies that didn't work. I don't know if this one's going to work as well either, though.
Yep, I agree with you. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I mean, like financially, once everything's run its course. I'm happy that it is coming to theaters. Yes, I'm disappointed that it's coming out at the same time, but I think just because of the year that we're in and how neither situation was really super beneficial for the people that made the film, this is going to be the compromise that says, all right, well, this is the best thing that we can do for all parties involved. For people wanting to watch the film at home, for people wanting to watch in the theater, and for the companies to make their money. This, I think, is the best thing that they can do. Whether or not it's going to work out, it's going to be strange. But I could see people watching it at home and either absolutely loving it and then trying to watch it in a theater on a big screen with good audio. I could see that, and I could see some people not doing that at all, just watching it one time and being, that's right. Not saying that there's a right way or wrong way.
Yeah.
I just, I'll be watching it at a theater, whether I have to, I shouldn't say, I would like to watch it in a movie theater. If I have to go to Sioux
Did we almost
Falls.
get camera of him saying he's going to break into a theater? Did we play that back?
No. I'll be watching it at a theater, whether I have to, I shouldn't say, whether I have to. I might have to go to Sioux Falls or somewhere else, but I would like to watch it in a theater, just like Tenet. Tenet was a good.
Break into a theater.
We'll keep moving.
So yeah, those are a good assortment of the movies, a good list that we've come up with that you can try to check out, coming out this month, both on streaming services and if you are able and feel safe to go to theaters. There's a few options sprinkled in there as well. I know certain areas, like we said, certain areas due to some new COVID restrictions, certain areas are closing theaters, some are open. So we encourage you, check your local theater's website. Even if your theater is closed, that doesn't mean they don't have deals. Black Friday was recently, so they might have some deals for gift cards.
Yeah, another great thing right now is usually from like around Thanksgiving to Christmas is a hot gift card time, hot gift card season. Most theaters, whether depending on the weekend or the weekday, will be be available to somehow get a gift card. So definitely check your local theaters. I know a lot of theaters are doing popcorn sales, candy sales, even sales on pop, some of them. So, those theater candies that you're going to get for $1, that's a lot of candy for $1. That's better than the gas station. That's the best place you'll get it. So definitely check your theaters, your local theaters, check their Facebooks, the company websites. There'll be information out there for your theaters.
And with that, we're going to move into some of our recommends. I'll start us off. I kind of got two recommends. I'll make one a little bit shorter. I'll go into a little bit more detail on one. I did get a chance to see the new Vince Vaughn film Freaky a couple weeks ago. And so if your theater is still open and you do have the chance to watch that, I would recommend it. If you are a horror fan, it's got some horror elements. If you are a comedy fan, it's got some comedy elements.
It's got Vince Vaughn.
It's got Vince Vaughn. He has some pretty great scenes here playing. Because in case you didn't know, in case you missed the last episode, it is Vince Vaughn switching bodies with a young teenage girl with the serial killer body. So now Vince Vaughn has to play a teenage girl who also, we talked about Vince Vaughn switching between serious and comedic. This girl the lead actress does a really great job of going from mild-mannered teenage girl to terrifying serial killer. Like, she's great in this as well, if you switch. So I recommend that. Another movie I got a chance to watch recently on Netflix is Trial of the Chicago 7. I'm a pretty big Aaron Sorkin fan. I don't usually watch movies with the mindset of looking for great dialogue, but Aaron Sorkin has great dialogue, usually. He's a really great writer. He also directed this movie. And this movie is based off of the Chicago 7, as they were called, that were under trial during the Chicago riots during the late 1960s Democratic Convention. It's a really interesting story. I've got some really great performances from Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Mark Rylance is in it as well. He's really great. Sacha Baron Cohen, which I find interesting. This movie was going to come out in theater a month ago, but it got pushed back, moved to Netflix around the same time that his new Borat movie was coming out.
Yep.
So I found it funny. He's doing this serious, dramatic role with comedic elements, but like playing a real person. And at the same time, you can also watch Borat. So it would almost be a great double feature to watch him do this role and then go right into Borat. But he's great in either one.
Yep.
So that's one that I recommend. Ryan, what have you been watching recently?
Well, now that you've mentioned that, I watched two things recently. I'll do the same thing, talk about one a little quicker. I would say maybe 3-4 nights ago, before Thanksgiving, I was getting the turkey ready, and I was just flipping through the TV, and I saw Dr. Strangelove was on. So I ended up getting the turkey ready, and I ended up watching Dr. Strangelove again, one of my favorite films of all time.
I know
An
you
old
love that one.
Stanley Kubrick film. I highly recommend it. It might be on a streaming service, I don't know. But if you have a chance to watch it, you definitely should. Great film. But my wife and I, Jessa, we've been watching The Queen's Gambit. Very good, very well done. It's a little bit of a slow burn. It takes time for the characters to develop and the story to get unfolding, but it does a great job of, right away the first couple of minutes might be a shot of her past and something in her past, and then her current day, and then past and current day, and that's how it works throughout the series, or the limited series. Great if you like chess. It's cool. I know how to play chess. Am I good? No, I'm terrible. But it's fun to watch, and I never thought I'd get as amped up or energized watching somebody play chess, but it does a great job of it. It's a well-done show. That's on Netflix, called The Queen's Gambit. Anna Taylor-Joy is the main actress.
She's been having quite a career at her young age already.
Yeah, but Anna Taylor-Joy, phenomenal actress. Check her out in The Queen's Gambit. It's really good. Fun show to watch.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. Once again, please check out what deals your local theaters have, whether or not it's concessions to go or if they are still playing movies. Please check out times, dates, and support your local theaters if you can. If you have any of your own movie recommendations, or you disagree with one of ours, or you agree with one of ours, be sure to talk about it in the comments down below. For myself and Ryan Meyerberg, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we'll hopefully in 2021 see you at the movies.